We are live. Hello, everybody. I have a something fun going on here. We've got Jean McDonald from formerly from Smile and now from App Camp for Girls. I guess pretty soon we can stop calling it that, right, Jean?
What's that?
I guess we can stop with the introduction, always starting with formerly from Smile.
I still haven't taken it out of my bio. I think a lot of people know me from that. So.
Okay. Okay. Hang on just a second. So I'm going to send you a side note because your lighting is a little bit dark.
Light's not good.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. I guess pretty soon we can stop calling it that, right, Jean? Okay, I'm getting feedback. One of you guys has is coming to us from her house up in Portland. I'm hearing. Who's got the audio playing? Okay. Okay. I'm hearing you guys. I'm hearing me, you guys. Somebody's got a live mic.
I think I need to get dark.
Yeah. Oh, is Jean, do you have, yeah, have you muted there? Better. Okay, I'm getting feedback. Okay. You know what? I don't think this is going to work, but Jean, one of the things I wanted you to do was get your, can you get your App Camp for Girls jacket? I wanted you to show that to people.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right. She's got this really cool jacket, and I think they're going to do this as part of a fundraiser or something here. Wait for her to come back with that. We haven't done the, why, hello! What the heck?
Hi, Allison.
Say hi to Jean. She's actually here in real life. We were playing a funny on you there. Say hi, Jean.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so you guys are in on a very special secret here. Jean is here to meet, you remember our friends from New Zealand that we met on the cruise. Jean and the professors and Steve and I were inseparable for that entire trip. And Jean has tried twice to see them. She was supposed to go to New Zealand. It didn't work out. She was supposed to go to New York and didn't see it. So as a secret, we have brought them down from Portland. And tomorrow morning, we're picking them up to take them to the airport in L.A. And she came down just for that.
That's right. And you know, the thing that I think I told you was the hardest was not tweeting it at all on my way down to LA or anything.
Yep. So we've done a little bit of subterfuge here. So you guys are all sworn to secrecy. Kirshen, I know what a big old blabbermouth you are.
Yeah. No, it's really exciting. Plus, I got to meet Tesla, so I feel like that was like the
worth the price
highlight. Yeah.
So far, right?
So far. Yeah.
Not seeing me and Steve. So Steve, you're terrible at this faking. Steve kept looking at you and pointing at you and turning the light towards you. We were trying to make it tricky. Yes.
Yeah, well.
So when Jean goes back, Steve, you need to mute everything because I'm hearing everything. She can't be listening from there, right? Wait,
right.
Now he left.
There he is.
I'm here.
That's weird. You disappeared. Okay, well, I think we should get the show on the road.
Let's get the show on the road. Anyway, thanks for having me. Hi, everybody. I'll be in the chat room. Chat with you soon.
All right. All right, Kirshen says her lips are sealed. Jean, do you mind closing that door for me? Thanks. All right, let's do a little test recording here. We may have a light crowd because the Mac Geek Cab went live a few minutes ago. They normally don't go at the same time. We got to have some roll call. We've got Donald and Steve and Kevin and Dan and Kiwi Spoon. I'm forgetting Kiwi Spoon's real name. And Jean and Kirshen and Dorothy and Alistair. All right. All right, let's do a little test audio here. All right, Steve, I may need to mute both of you guys.
Go ahead, mute away.
Do you want to stay video or just I'll go ahead and hide both of you guys, okay? And I'll bring you back later.
That's
Okay,
fine.
bye. Goodbye, Jean.
Bye-bye.
All right, there we go. I can still see them. Oh, good job, Kevin. Oh, Terry just snuck in. Terry, you missed it. We have a secret guest in tonight, but everybody explained that it's Mum's the word. Okay, I was going to do a test audio. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, audio good. Playback is fine. Good, good, good. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this show started. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, January 11th, 2015, and this is show number 505. Well, Steve and I had a great time for our first trip to CES. I want to start, though, by talking about how far you walk at this event. You've heard people talk at length about how exhausted they were, how long the walks were. Well, I must be a real maniac in my regular life, or these people are a bunch of lazy slobs, because I lost steps by going to CES. I'm not kidding. I normally go about 16,000 steps a day, but I had to beg people to walk with me instead of taking cabs and buses around to even hit that number. Steve and I walked to the convention center, which was about a mile from our hotel, and then I talked Chuck Joyner of Mac Voices into joining us on long walks to the other hotels where there were events. I did beat my regular distance one day and match it on the second day, but on the first day I was only at 13,000, so that was pretty disappointed. I was really hoping to have some of those big 25,000 step days. Well, I think the reason CES is actually exhausting is not because of the walking. It's because of the brain meltdown. On the first night, we went with Chuck to a special session just for the press called CES Unveiled. These press events were probably the best thing about CES for me. They're small events with maybe 150 vendors and a limited audience, so you get really close access to the vendors without the giant crush of crowds. Steve and I did a ton of video interviews in a really short amount of time. It started at 7 and it was supposed to end at 10:30. Around 10:15, my brain told me my buddy was done. I was out. I mean, really, really done. We went outside to wait the 15 minutes for Chuck. First I was standing waiting, then I sat down, then finally I just laid down on the floor in the lobby. Steve is such a good husband, of course he took a photo of me and immediately posted it everywhere. For the record, we should note that there was an open bar at this event, and Steve and I split a half a beer. That's it. Now, my main point is that standing is more tiring than walking, and being on is really exhausting, because I only got 13,000 steps that day, but it took everything out of me. Oops. Okay. File, save as. Let's see, NC 2015-01-11, right? Okay. $3,000. What was $3,000? Oh, John is here. Hi, Nessanut. Yeah, all that Chuck was a lot of complaining. Okay. Wait. That should say CES Unveiled. Now, I talked about the evening at the CES Unveiled press event, and that's kind of a good starting point to explain how many different kinds of CESs there actually are. First of all, you've been told that CES is huge, but I want to try to describe how big it really is. Let's start with the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's made up of 3 halls. There's the North Hall, Central Hall, and South Hall. Each hall is bigger than any entire convention center I've ever been in before. There used to be a hotel called the Sands. It was pulled down and the Venetian was put up in its place. But they left the Sands Convention Center there, and CES took up both floors of that convention center too. Steve and I walked to the Sands from the convention center, and it was 1.4 miles away. So you start to get an idea of how spread apart this show is. But wait, there are also press conferences in just about every one of these big hotels. The Mandalay Bay has a giant hall, and they filled that one with a Samsung press conference, along with some other giant conference rooms for overflow. Now think about that, what that means. Overflow rooms means people traveled all the way to Las Vegas to sit in a conference room and watch the presentations on TV. Now, I hope that gives you a bit of a flavor of how big this thing is, because it's really all of Las Vegas that's involved in the show. Just imagine the cab lines for a moment with 150,000 attendees. Now, CES is not an open show, which means people fall into specific categories of interest. There's the press, industry analysts, buyers, and the exhibitors themselves. They have an app and paper maps which show you sort of how things are organized. I took Jenny Josephson's advice. She's the producer on Daily Tech News Show. When we met up with her, she said the app is cool, but it's going to fail when the internet goes down because everybody's going to be on that network. So we hung onto that paper map, and it really did help. So we thought, let's start. We looked in the paper maps, and we looked up, we found photography and digital imaging, and that was in the South Hall. So we thought that'd be a fun place to start. One of the things we like to do is start in the back of an area, because sometimes you find those little gems hiding in the back. This was not the case in the South Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center, however. It was zillions of teeny, tiny little booths with nothing of interest to us. I'm talking booth after booth after booth of identical-looking power packs, cables, and headphones. Photography evidently didn't include things like Nikon, Canon, Sony, or Olympus, but darn, you could see a lot of selfie sticks back there. Again, all of them looking identically. Dave Hamilton of the Mac Geek Gab hung out with us for a bit, and he explained that these booths are people looking to OEM their products to other companies, so press is the wrong audience for these booths. So the South Hall had too tiny of companies for us. Next, we went to the Central Hall, and there we found the huge, giant, crazy booths. You saw your Sonys and Samsungs and BMWs, and they had signs the size of small buildings over booths the size of large buildings. I found this hall too big. But the North Hall was just right. In there we found the iProducts area, and that was where the most fun was for us. We conducted more interviews there than anywhere else. All of the booths there were interesting to us. I have an observation about technology booths, something that I find very weird that I wanted to bring up. Inevitably, when we walked up to a booth with Steve's camera gear and my microphone, someone would come up to us to chat, which was great. These initial contact folks were usually well-spoken, intelligent, and oozing with personality and had a good knowledge of the products they'd describe. After about a minute, if I found their pitch interesting, I'd say, hey, let's do an interview. 9 times out of 10, that person would say, oh, no, I'm in PR. Let me get you the founder, spokesperson, CEO. Drove me nuts. I'd beg them to please do the interview, but they would shy away and say they weren't qualified or not allowed to. I think the reason this bothered me so much was that usually the first contact person was a woman, and they would go get us a boy to do the interview. Sometimes it worked out, but a lot of times it didn't. So hang on, that doesn't make it. What was I just going to say? Forgot one part. Just one time though, the first contact person was a boy, and after we talked to him for a while, he said, oh, no, I got to get the technical person, and it was a woman. So that was kind of fun. I did enjoy that time, but then again, she wasn't as good as he was. Usually the PR person was better at speaking to people. Oh well. So we've talked about the press conferences and the private press events, doing the show floor, but there's a whole nother way to do CES. If you're ever lonely and wish you had more email, I can highly recommend signing up to be on distribution for CES. Steve and I were probably averaging 75 emails a day inviting us to set up meetings. I couldn't see how to go about triaging these emails, how to tell what was interesting, so my solution was I simply threw them all away in the trash. Other folks like Dave Hamilton and Chuck Joyner evidently have a better attention span or ability to triage because they did go through the emails and they set up private meetings with the vendors with whom they had interest. I say you go girl to those guys. The one thing we didn't find at CES was a natural way to meet people. I didn't find networking events where I could walk up to people and ask them about their interests. If you're looking for a substitute for the camaraderie you felt at Macworld, I don't know that this is the show for this. Like I said, we got to hang out with Chuck and Dave at the event. We also saw Brian Chaffin and Jeff Gamet. We had a lovely dinner with J.F. Brissett, who lives in Las Vegas. We also managed to meet Joel Rushworth, the head minion of the Windows Phone users I've talked about before, but that took a $45 cab ride to achieve. Shai Yamini did come to meet us for breakfast, but that was more than an hour for him navigating the crowded streets of Vegas to achieve. We had a blast, but still, it was an awful lot of work. Paul Kemp from IDG suggested we meet up for drinks, and that was positively delightful. But all of these meetups were with people we already knew and had met through Macworld. We didn't make any new friends, which was something I was kind of hoping for. I had always heard that CES was the land of products that would never come to be, that I would see awesome stuff that I would never be allowed to have. Many people warned me that 75% of what I would see would never come to fruition. Not sure why, but nearly every single product that interested me was either available now or shipping in the first quarter this year. So I guess that's just another difference in the way people see CES. what did I say? The way people see ES. Thank you, Steve. Steve just sent me a little private message. Where was I? So I guess, listen to what I said. That's just another difference in the way people see ES. see CES. So I guess that's yet another difference in the way people see CES. Overall, I definitely enjoyed CES. I think I'd like to go back, and I was fascinated by the many faces of this show, but it may not be the conference you're looking for. Steve and I conducted 37 interviews at CES. We're struggling with how to get the content to you without overwhelming you and not taking forever to get them all out. What we've settled on is that Steve is rendering the videos as fast as he can, and he's getting them all up on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/NosillaCast, you'll find them. But then I'm spoon-feeding them out on the blog throughout the coming weeks. I'm going to try to put up 2 or 3 a day. Then on the podcast, we'll play the audio from those interviews that will work well in audio only. That's going to take longer because I can't give you, 14 a week. There are some that are so visual that I may talk about them on the podcast, but then suggest you go watch rather than listen. For example, there's one of a guy riding a motocross bike by using his arms and legs with no bike there at all. It's really cool, but the video really makes the interview. Anyway, let's dig in and get started with some interviews. I don't, you got 19,000 steps, Gene? That's interesting. Our buddy Joel Rushworth said that he got 20,000 steps, so I don't know. And we were walking everywhere. I mean, like I said, we walked the hotel between hotels. We walked 1.5 miles to the Sands. We took cabs a couple times. 7,000 steps, Alistair. Get moving. It was fun when you and I used to compete. He and I used to just track each other. It was really fun. Let's see, interviews. Okay, I should keep working here. What are we doing? Finally, Mophie Juice Pack. All right. Converting sample rate. I wonder what that's doing. Okay, let's hear how this sounds. Really cool, but the video really makes the interview. Anyway, let's dig in and get started with some interviews. I've been a big fan of the Mophie line of battery packs for the iPhone over the years, but I've got an iPhone 6, and what am I going to do? There's no Mophie for that yet, right?
That's correct. Now there is. We're happy to announce we released the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus juice packs yesterday, so they will be available towards the end of the month to the first part of February. We are showing them off here in the glass cases today here at the show. So we're going to have 2 models for the iPhone 6 when they launch. The first one is the Juice Pack Air, which is going to give 100% additional battery power. The second one is the Juice Pack Plus, and that's going to give 120% additional battery power.
But to be clear, the Juice Pack Plus is not for the iPhone 6 Plus, it's for the iPhone 6, right?
That's correct. It can be a little confusing. The Air and the Plus are for the iPhone 6s, and we do have a Juice Pack for the 6 Plus. Doesn't have a special name. It's just we're just calling it the Juice Pack for the 6 Plus.
So the 6 Plus already goes for like a month and a half by itself. This gives you a year or whatever.
Yeah, the 6 Plus has a great battery. The 6 Plus Juice Pack is going to give an additional 60% additional battery power. We wanted to keep the case as light and slim as possible. So
if you went 100%, that'd be a giant brick when you'd be done. Right?
That's correct. Yeah. So 60% we figured would be more than enough to get somebody throughout their day.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much they give us. We want more, right?
That you always have to have more power. That's correct.
All right, so is there anything different about these models from previous years?
Yeah, one of the nice things about the 6s is they load from the top, and the reason for that is because now with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus juice packs, they do have syncing capabilities, so you will be able to charge and sync through the micro USB cable that we provide.
Oh, that's a nice feature, definitely. That's really, really cool. So I've actually never used any of your little battery packs. I see some down there at the end. Do you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, these are our power stations. We have our power stations down here. We're just showing off that we can do some customized logos. We do a lot of B2B orders at Mophie, and we can do custom logos. That we do all that in-house. The newest ones to the power station family is the Power Station Plus. These are the first ones we've put out with integrated cables. So we will have 4 solutions, 4 sizes with micro USB, and 4 sizes with Lightning. And those sizes will be 3,000 milliamps, 5,000 milliamps, 7,000, and 12,000.
Oh my gosh! And what's the one you have on the counter right there?
This one here is the Power Station Plus. This is 5,000 milliamps with the Lightning connection. The nice thing about these is when you're not using the cables, you can tuck them away, close the lid, and still have that nice, clean, sleek look that you get from a Mophie product.
So is the battery actually in that right now?
It is, yeah. This is a live unit here. The battery is built right inside this area here.
Okay, seriously, I thought that was a prototype because I couldn't believe how light that was for 5,000 milliamp hours. I mean, that is a really nice unit.
Very lightweight, very well made, very durable with the aluminum enclosure here. The nice thing about this is the way that it closes. Very smooth, very sleek product.
Yeah, Mophie is definitely a company that is high quality, and that's something I love about that. Let me ask you one question. This is kind of an unfair question, but why does it take so long from when we first hear about a device being available or about to come out from Apple before we can have our Mophie juice pack? Because we're all in line going, "Where's my Mophie juice pack?" on day one, right?
Yeah, we do some very intensive testing in-house before we present our products to Apple for their certification. So
you could probably make a bad one faster.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't.
We wouldn't. We have very high standards at Mophie, so we want to make sure that before we present a product, not only to Apple but to the public, that it is 100% perfect in every way.
I don't know of anyone who's ever bought a Mophie product in my circle who has ever said, "Boy, I didn't like that thing." They're always, "Man, I love my Mophie."
Yeah, they're definitely life changers. You have to have one. If you have any type of electronic device, phone, tablet, they definitely keep you powered up all day long.
I'm certainly happy to hear they've come out because I'll be first in line to buy one. Those, again, the Mophie 6 and the Plus for the 6 will be available when?
Yeah, they're available for pre-order on our website right now. They should be shipping out towards the end of the month to the first part of February.
And the price points on those?
$99.95, $119.95, and $99.95 for the 6 Plus.
Very good, very good. And Mophie is spelled Mophie for the 3 people who haven't already heard of you guys.
That is correct.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry.
Hey, thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I'm amazed how many of the vendors didn't spell their names. Like, there's going to be another company, Mobi, that you should keep an eye on, and it's Mobee, and the guy he just said Mobi.com. I'm like, yeah, you need to spell that, dude. You had one for an iPhone 3G. Wow. Yeah, Mophie is the team to beat, that's for sure. All right, I can make a snotty comment here. All right, thank you very much, Jerry.
Hey, thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, everyone is excited that Mophie has finally come out with the juice packs for the iPhone and 6 and 6 Plus. I gotta say, though, they really should have done a better job with the naming convention. How many people do you think are going to go out and buy the Juice Pack Plus for the iPhone 6 Plus and then find out that it only fits the 6? Anyway, before you go out and buy a Mophie, you might want to stay tuned for an interview I'm going to play for you next week with Mobi, not Mophie, Mobi, M-O-B-E-E. And because they have a solution that might be better for you than the Mophie. It's the same kind of idea, but it's got something even cooler about it. All right, let's kick into another interview. All right. Okay. Put that back up here. Oh, no, I didn't see your text message. I'll check it as soon as I start to play this. Let's see how this sounds. Cooler about it. All right, let's kick into another interview. I'm in the Lowe's Innovation Labs with Amanda Manna, and I've been hearing cool things about you guys are like robots and stuff now, right?
We are in just a short time. We just launched this summer, and we've introduced 2 projects so far. So one of them is the Oshbot that you may have heard about. It's a retail service robot in one of our Orchard Supply hardware stores in San Jose, California.
Oh, wait a minute. Lowe's and Orchard is the same.
Yeah, so Lowe's acquired Orchard a little over a year ago. And so they've been great partners for us. Obviously, San Jose, really technologically savvy customer base. We thought it'd be a great place to introduce a robot. So when you come in the store, it'll approach you. You can talk to it, tell it what you're looking for, and it'll take you to where that stuff is in the store. And then we're working on incorporating some new features. It'll speak up to 5 languages. It has a 3D scanner on it, so it can help you identify that random screw laying around that you don't know what it is, but something's broken and needs it.
Oh, now that's really cool. Yeah. I thought you were going to say reads barcodes, but you're saying I can bring that weird bracket from the toilet in?
Exactly. And it'll try to help help you figure out if we have it in store, if you need to buy it online. It can also remote connect in expert employees from other locations. So if you're working on that broken toilet and nobody in the store knows exactly the answer to your question, but somebody else does, you can essentially remote connect them in on the screen in the aisle to help you with your project.
Wow, that is really crazy.
Cool. And so we know that when you come into a big box store, it can be kind of an overwhelming experience, and there's no way for an associate to know the exact location of every product at any time. And so that's what the robot is all about. It's really augmenting that experience and helping you get through the store more easily. And the second project is called...
I also like the translation thing is just genius, right?
Right, because there's no way that any employee can speak 6 languages. I mean, if they are, then we need to hire...
If you're the left-handed bracket toilet specialist and you also have to know Japanese,
Exactly.
that's a tough hiring plan.
Exactly. So the Oshpot's kind of a roving computer that can help solve a lot of these problems and be another tool for our associates.
So you started to say the second project?
The second project is the Lowe's Hollow Room. It's an augmented reality home improvement design tool. It's in 2 of our stores in Canada. And so we've built a database of 3D models of real Lowe's products that you can then manipulate in this augmented reality environment to design your bathroom. And so we know for a lot of people, I don't know if this is true for you, but if I have a vision and I'm trying to communicate that to my husband, he may not get what I'm trying to say. And so maybe we never even start the project because we can't agree on what it's going to look like. So this is a way for you to visualize and experience your room before you ever spend a dime. And so what we're demoing here at CES is how we see that evolving into a virtual reality experience, which is what we've got right here with the Oculus Rift. So if you'd like to try it on, I'll let you check it out.
Yeah, let's at least put it on me, if nothing but for the comedy, right?
Okay.
I take my glasses off probably.
Yeah, probably a little easier.
All right. Oh, wow.
Okay, so you in the bathroom?
I'm in a bathroom. I see a
Everything that you see there, you could buy, from the paint color to the tile. These are actual Lowe's products.
wow, that's crazy. So for the audience, I'm looking at, I can see a vanity that has no legs for some reason, a cool looking light. I got pictures on the wall, tile. There's a nice sunset outside. Wow.
So tell me when you're facing the door.
Okay, facing. Oh, I can turn around. Oh, you're freaking me out. Oh, whoa, yeah. I'm standing in the doorway now. Actually, I think I need to turn this way.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, I'm going to move you through the door.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, I just moved into where the bathtub is and another vanity. Oh, you're freaking me out. This is absolutely nuts. Wow. And so you can pick and choose the toilet and the tub and the tile and just place it in there yourself?
Exactly. So in the store, before you actually go into this room, you would have picked all of the stuff that you want, and you can move it around. We have these rooms preloaded here for the show, but a customer in the store would be able to totally customize and manipulate any aspect of that room.
Wow. I would think you'd have people just wearing this playing around for hours.
Yeah, there's a lot of curiosity, and people are excited to try it out. So we've had really great response from customers.
All right, I'm going to take it off now because it's scaring me. Steve, you've got to try this thing on. Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Amanda. So how can people find out more about this?
Our website is LowesInnovationLabs.com.
And that's LOEWES. Wait.
LOWES. InnovationLabs,
Great. Thank you very much, Amanda.
Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Okay. Okay. Again, remember, everything's a secret here. That Jean is here. Let me come back. I have to take a quick second and keep up the subterfuge because Marianne is asking what time. Just saying. Okay, sorry. We've got the subterfuge going here. Yeah, that thing was just plain freaky. That was just really weird. All right, let's keep going here. Great, thank you very much, Amanda.
Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Well, as Alistair Jenks said in the live chat room here, you really need to watch the video to see how freaked out I was. That was the weirdest experience wearing the Oculus Rift. Maybe more of an ad for the Oculus Rift than the Lowe's Innovation Labs, but it's just a pretty cool way they were using it. But at one point, you hear her in the audio, you hear her say, tell me when you get around to the door, let me push you through the door. And I thought she moved me. My memory is that she pushed me on my back through the door. And when I watched the video, I see that she went over to the computer and she pressed some buttons, and that moved me through the door. That just freaks me out that it did that. But that was pretty weird. The other thing you'll notice is the audio kind of drops off when I'm inside the room. That's because I'm not pushing my mic towards her because I don't know where she is. I can't see her. I'm over in the bathroom. I'm not in the same place with her at all. So that was really, really freaky. I am, if nothing else, I'm a huge believer in the Oculus Rift, but I'm thinking that Oshbot robot sounds pretty cool too. All right, one last missive, and this isn't actually an interview. It's just something a little bit different that we recorded from CES. Freezing rain advisory. Yuck. Hey, it's been raining here for several days. All right, this is going to be an opinion piece, as you will. All right. Okay, wait, sorry. Let's see. Actually, an interview. It's just something a little bit different that we recorded from CES. There's a lot of home automation at CES 2015, and Steve and I have been very, very interested in this. One of the problems we see is that if you buy different vendors' products, they're never compatible. So if you work with, say, you get a Hue light bulb and a Wemo remote, they don't talk to each other. You can't have interoperability. What we have found here today is that the Z-Wave Alliance is an alliance of different companies, and Steve's panning around right now. All of these are different booths for different companies, all of whom are using the same technology, this Z-Wave technology. In the United States, it's going to run at, or it does run at 908 megahertz, and it operates, so it's outside of the band of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and that, and so you get a receiver, or a bridge, I should say, that hooks up to your Wi-Fi router, and or to your router, and then it broadcasts this Z-Wave signal. All of the products that you see as he's panning around this room are compatible with each other, so you can buy a lock from one company, a remote from another, a thermal sensor from another, and cameras. And I think that this might be, if I were to buy today, I would look for something that did comply with the standards of Z-Wave Alliance. What did I do, Terry? That's cool. All right. Hey Siri. Always wanted to do that to somebody. All right. Where were we? Single chat service, Alistair. That's wonderful. I love it. Okay. She wants a time so they can be prepared. Sorry, we're still trying to organize this thing with the professors. I thought between 9 and 10. I don't understand the problem. I really don't. I know. Okay, sorry. I have to have a discussion with my husband. One moment, please. All right. All right, where were we? Let's see. Okay, I have my audio there. I got that. Okay. Okay, one moment, please. Okay. I promise not now to pay attention to the show. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the fact that I'm responding should be keeping her at bay, right? All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, we're going to talk about Alistair some more. See, I'm on the wrong track. Comply with the standards of Z-Wave Alliance. Well, that's probably enough interviews for this week. There's lots more to come, like I said. Steve's encoding like a maniac, so if you want to watch the videos, just go over to podfeet.com and get a head start. The videos are getting posted there, and they're also on YouTube, like I said. Well, yesterday, our good friend, frequent contributor, and sometimes host of the NosillaCast, Alistair Jenks, told me about a cool plugin for WordPress that lets you embed your Flickr stream into your website. Thought it might be fun for me. If you only want to have Flickr embedded on a single page, you only need the plugin called Flickr Justified. If you want to embed it onto the sidebar, though, you also need one called Shortcode Widget. As soon as I heard there were plugins into plugins, I panicked. I told him, no, it's too hard. I can't do it. You know where this is going, right? Alistair undid his own installation, then launched Clarify and ran through the installation steps again so he could take snapshots, add some lovely rounded rectangle you know what? I've been stumbling this whole thing. I'm starting this over. Sometimes you just got to run up on it again. Wingman needs a 5K iMac there. Sure he does. Comply with the standards of Z-Wave Alliance. Well, I think that's enough interviews for this week. There's lots more to come. Steve is encoding like a maniac. So if you want to watch the videos early, just go over to podfeet.com and get a head start. Yesterday, our good friend, frequent contributor, and sometimes host of the NosillaCast, Alistair Jenks, told me about a cool plugin for WordPress that lets you embed your Flickr stream onto your website. He thought it might be fun for me. If you only want to have Flickr embedded on a single page, you only need the plugin called Flickr Justified. If you want to embed it on the sidebar, though, like he and I do, you also need another plugin called Shortcode Widget. As soon as I heard there were plugins feeding into plugins, I panicked. I told him it's too hard. You know where this is going, don't you? Alistair undid his own installation of these plugins, then launched Clarify and ran through the installation steps again so he could take screen snapshots, add some lovely rounded rectangle red boxes to highlight where I should be looking, and even one oval to get fancy. Added a couple of sequence steps where things needed to be done in a certain order. Then he dropped in titles to the steps, added a short bit of explanations on each step. Then, when he was finished, he pushed... Go. When he was done, he pushed the share to clarify-it.com website, and he had a link to send me with perfect instructions. I followed along, and it worked exactly as he showed me, and I had no confusion in how to follow his steps. Now, I'm including a link in the show notes to Alistair's How to Add Flickr to Your Sidebar tutorial over on clarify-it.com for you to enjoy. If you would like to be able to help people like this, or just get them off your back from asking the same questions over and over again, head on over to clarify-it.com and give their free trial a spin. When you go to buy, remember you can buy it for Mac or Windows or even a slider license like Dorothy did. Glad I wasn't recording this. The oval, yeah, that really, it was daring. You know, that was, you were just stepping out there. You know, I haven't done ovals myself, actually. Because oval, it's just, you got to be so careful about the height to the width and the, wow. You know, you're always teaching me. All right. I hope this recording's okay because I never checked it. I really should check that. I always assume that that it's going to work. Chit chat. But you know, one of these days it could just not be there. Like it could be today. And who knows? Let's find out what happens. We get to talk about DNS this week. Your closed captioning while I do this. Oh, do you write your own closed captioning? That's crazy. Let's see, that I think should be right about there. See where that goes. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. All right, let's hear this. The oval was inside a rectangle. That's right, Alistair. Just the master, really. It's crazy. Even a slider license like Dorothy did. it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond with Bart Busschots, and we are here recording on his birthday. Happy birthday, Bart.
Well, thank you, Alison.
Well,
it's one of those annoying birthdays where I change which checkbox I have to check online. I'm no longer 18 to 35. Oh, no, I am. I've one more year.
Oh, good.
Oh,
35.
Yeah, it's 2:35, so I'm okay. Yeah, so I'm 35.
Such a baby.
It's not how it seems from here, but okay.
Yeah, really. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about our incredibly scientific survey over on Google Plus about what people thought about Security Lite. They love it.
Yeah, so I was afraid that we were doing too much or too little, and I just got a vibe that I thought maybe this isn't actually working. And either everyone's being far too polite and British and not telling us what they really think, or it's fine.
I think they like it. I mean, they gave details of exactly what they liked, and maybe the whiners didn't go complain or something. I don't know, but yeah, they love it. And as I read the comments, I started thinking more and more about the parts I really like. So yeah, so Security Lite it is, and boy, we have a bumper episode this week.
Yeah, because the last one we pre-recorded was just before Christmas. That was a pre-record, so there was a whole week in use before anyone heard it. And then I was meant to be on last week, but there's some stuff going on. So I've missed another week, so I think it's 4 weeks of news.
Oh, jeez. Well, we better tuck in then, huh?
Right, so let's start off with our friends in Sony. I think the last thing we had said was that the American government had pointed the finger of blame at the North Koreans, and that caused a lot of debate. And there's actually a reasonable argument to be made either way. And so I thought the best thing to do would be to stick a good example of both arguments into the show notes. So the case against it having been North Korea is made by Bruce Schneier, and so that's a link in the show notes. The case for it being North Korea is made by Brian Krebs, and that's also a link in the show notes.
And those are both really well-respected security-type people, right?
They are. They're both people. They're both people I respect greatly in the security world. So I thought they were good people to make the case. And then just today, as I was just about to hit go on the finish up the show notes, a story popped into my RSS reader. Saying that the director of the FBI, actually it says the FBU in the show notes, we better fix that, the FBU, the director of the FBI, James Comey, said that North Korea got sloppy, and that's why we know.
Oh, cool. Very interesting.
Very interesting stuff.
Now, I noticed something really... Oh, go ahead.
We're never going to know for sure, but I think there's probably something to it, but anyway, we're never going to know for sure.
5149, right? Well, the next thing I noticed in the show notes, and it really is confusing. So what is there under important security updates?
Well, there doesn't seem to be any, which is weird, because when I write these show notes, I put up all my headings, and then I start going through my RSS feed and just populating each section. And I've just noticed that section got no stories, but the next section got lots of stories.
All right, so we won't have to worry about too short of a Security Lite tonight.
No, so important security news. So actually, pretty much as people were listening to the last show, they would have noticed their Macs telling them that they had been updated for a software patch.
Yeah.
It didn't ask. It told them.
That's unusual, right?
I believe. Well, it's the first time it's happened to me, and I believe it's the first time Apple have ever done it. So the functionality has been in OS X, and I just haven't felt that it was an appropriate time to hit push. But the NTP bug that we did talk about last time seemed to have crossed the radar. And they went, no, we should push this out. And so they did, because, of course, every copy of OS X has an NTP server within it.
And that's network time protocol?
That is it, exactly. So Apple fixed it. It's not, for people who don't use Macs as servers, it actually wasn't a big deal. But if anyone was using a Mac as a server, it was a spectacularly big deal. So they were probably right to do it. It was interesting to see that they can when they want to. They just don't very often, which is
How do you
probably
feel about
the right
them
way to
doing
balance
that?
it. On balance, it's good.
Don't be overdoing it.
Really, don't be overdoing it. But there is also it's right. For the last 15 years, I have been expecting that one of these days, a hacker somewhere is going to get into one of these automated software updates and start pushing out malicious code that way. Say into Symantec or McAfee or one of these products that update themselves every day automatically. But it's never happened. So I think the benefits of this automatic updating, kind of this push model, outweigh the risks. So I think it's probably okay, but it does make me feel a bit if I'm honest.
Don't overuse it.
Yeah, definitely don't overuse it. The next story then that made a lot of people cranky is that GoGo, which is an in-air Wi-Fi provider. Now the fact that those exist is cool. But but they are using what I would call a clumsily forged SSL certificate for star.google.com. And the excuse they give for what is a man-in-the-middle attack, there's no other word for it, is that they somehow say it has to do with throttling bandwidth. Now, that just doesn't make sense.
Well, now I thought what I heard was that they did it because they got to make sure you're not trying to stream YouTube.
Okay,
on a
then block
plane?
YouTube. Block YouTube. You don't need to see into an encrypted connection to stop connections to YouTube. Just stop the connection. You don't have to see what's in the pipe.
Well,
Don't
but then
allow
you got to also know about Vimeo, and you got to do a lot of work, right?
But there's no less work if you start breaking the SSL.
Oh, okay.
There's no reason to hack into the SSL. They're running their own DNS servers up there. They can just block at the DNS level whatever they want. They can block at the IP level. There is no valid reason for breaking into SSL other than trying to see what it is people are watching on YouTube.
Ooh.
It's I'm sorry, but any excuse they give is wrong. If it's to do with throttling, it's wrong. They're just, maybe some PR person is taking the lead on this instead of a technical person, but it does not add.
Okay. I am going to keep working on the show, but I think we should have Gene come back pretty soon. What do you guys think? Let me go ahead and drop in the last bit of audio.
Kidding.
I am having so much more fun with taming the terminal now that we're getting into some real practical usage. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the earlier part, but it was hard work. I haven't had to learn anything in an awfully long time, so I'm really getting a kick out of this. By the way, after Bart and I got off the air, we decided that instead of skipping a week till Bart's on again, he's going to be on next week. So next week's show, we're just going to review what it was we just learned about DNS, and then we're going to get into the real meat of getting to play with it next week. So I'm really, really excited about this. This is really getting fun. Well, it's going to wind us up for this week. Many thanks to our sponsor for helping to pay the bills, the makers of Clarify, over at clarify-it.com. Be cool, be smart like Alistair Jenks. I mean, the man did an oval. I told you he did an oval in his instructions. In fact, in the live chat, he pointed out not only was it oval, it was an oval inside a rectangle. He's a wild man. Anyway, you too can be this smart. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions. We haven't had a dumb question in a while. Send one in for me. You can send those to me at allison@podfeet.com. Follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Check out the new NosillaCast Google Plus community too. Like we said in the discussion just now with Bart, we use that as a way to give feedback on what you guys think about Security Lite. That community is growing every day, and it's a lot of fun. Like I said, not too chatty, just chatty enough. It's perfect. If you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, like Gene McDonald did tonight for one of the first times. Anyway, come over and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. All right. Okay. ScreenFlow 5 capturing iPhone 6 screen action. Oh, cool. Podfeet Central is much bigger on the inside. Oh, you mean the studio, as it were? I think Gene should come back. What do you guys think? Gene. Unless you're having fun over there with Steve, in which case that's okay too. You can see how the magic is made here. All right, back by popular demand. Oh, Tesla and Gene are inseparable now. So the last part of what I do is something really weird. So I drop in the intro and outro music here, and I listen just to make sure it sounds like it's in. All right. So I always bring this down, and there's a weird thing when you cut audio, like you see, these are all different clips. So I talked and then I screwed up, and I had to chop it off. And for some reason you get like a ghosting in between the two. Like it doesn't always happen, but I always select them and join them ever since it happened once.
Yeah, I would do that too.
I don't know if it still needs to happen. So what do you think of being live in the live?
It was great, especially, talking to you, but then also hanging out with Steve.
And Steve brought you wine, so
Steve
that was
brought
good.
me wine.
Where's our wine? Where's your wine?
Oh, I left it over in the other side of the
Other
podcast, Podfeet Central.
So I want everybody here to explain to Jean that she is going to the Midwest Mac Barbecue in case there was any question about that.
I would love to go. Yeah, I mean, one, love to do NosillaCast anything, and two, Barry Falk, one of my all-time favorite people, nicest person
Nicest
ever.
person in the world. Absolutely.
I did go to Chicago once a couple years ago, and Barry it was awesome.
Oh, you
Have
got to
been
see
to
Barry
Chicago?
then? No, not with Barry. Oh, good. Steve did wine delivery.
That's the beauty of the internet. Steve brings, you can
You
order
took-
wine. But
Cheers.
Cheers, yeah. Chicago is awesome. It's a really cool city. I'm sure June will have good weather.
Right, that's what he was going for.
And
by the way, it's not just NosillaCastaways.
No,
he's
I didn't know
inviting, he's inviting the Mac users from every Mac podcast.
Oh.
All of them. This is not a NosillaCast event. This is everybody.
Okay. If I don't
This is
go,
Katie and David's and the Mac Geek Gab, and I mean everybody.
I wish,
Well, everybody except for Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck Joyner.
Yeah, nobody wants Chuck.
No,
No, I'm serious. This is a mini Mac. This is to supplant Macworld. That is the purpose of this event.
Do you know the phrase FOMO? FOMO.
Yep. Fear of missing out. Yep. She's
Everybody
going now.
will have a severe case of it if they don't come.
Yeah. See, Gene's on board. So I was telling Gene, I talked to Dave Hamilton and Paul Kent and suggested that actually I got Dave to say it himself. I got him to say, well, maybe the Macworld All-Star Band should play the night before. So I told Barry, and Barry's going to find a venue and book it and then tell them that they're playing.
So I will come if I get to play guitar with the Macworld All-Star Band.
Ooh.
I don't have to play a lot. I won't play lead guitar. That's definitely not my role. But I would love to play guitar with the Macworld All-Star Band or sing. I would do either one. We could sing together.
No, not me. Gina and I sing together, but
they don't play the Carpenters, I don't think.
It's really good if I go and Gene's actually singing. Actually, we sang with Barbara McAllister, Don McAllister's wife, and that was really good stuff. Mac Genie on the guitar. They haven't ever had a. Oh, I should remember what I'm doing here. I'm supposed to add audio at the beginning. I almost hit publish. If they really were inclusive, they would have a girl in the band, don't you think?
Yep. Throw down.
I wonder if we could work that out.
Well, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, I didn't know that about Dave Hamilton. I didn't know that. I just thought it was just us. Just you, me, and Barry, and all the NosillaCastaways was enough of a reason.
But now you add in everybody.
Oh.
105.
Well, I'll be in severe Macworld deprivation mode by that time.
So yeah, this is a real deal. And he sent a picture of his backyard. It's really big.
I didn't get to see his place, but I think he has a pretty nice backyard.
I think he does. Let's see, has anybody been saying it? We haven't been able to watch this. Can you read this from here?
Oh, look at us with our.
Okay, that's the last time I read was that line there.
Okay. Yeah.
Dorothy, you said, did I mean to mention Gene in the show? Well, whenever somebody's in the live chat room for the first time, I mention them. And I know it wasn't your first time, but I thought it'd be that's a little Easter egg for the people who are actually here.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I try it whenever somebody new comes in. What else did we miss?
We're pretty sure that our friends we're surprising are not in the chat room or listening to the show.
We don't think so.
We'd be very
It'd
surprised.
be very weird if they were. They shouldn't be. But she said I actually talked about you in the closing. So. Okay. Let's see. Then they talked about GarageBand for a while. They ignored us. 64 spoke my attention. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice to have a chance to see you, from Terry.
Nice.
So that's Terry Austin, iElectrons.
Oh, cool.
That's it.
Hi, Terry.
He's a professor, big user of Clarify. Oh,
Love Clarify.
He's the one who made the little Podfeet logo in my signature.
Oh, neat.
He scribbled that. He drew that during a Macworld presentation and then gave it to me, and I scanned it in and made it part of my signature.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Very cool stuff. All right. Well, we're almost done. I think I already exported this to disk. I need to export it again. I really should pay attention to what I'm doing.
This is how you get to see the sausage being made.
And mistakes about it, right? 2 days after Gene's birthday, Kirshen points out.
Ah, Kirshen knows.
All right. See, we could sing. I will sing Happy Birthday to you if you come. Wait, no, I want you to come, so I shouldn't. I promise to have someone else do it. You going to bed, Terry? Please spare us, Podfeet, Steve said. Thank you, Steve.
Nobody.
No,
wants
Mom,
that.
no one does. I told Gene the story about my son Kyle when he was a baby. I asked him when he was like 6 years old, I asked him if he wanted me to sing him to sleep, and he said, no, Mom, no one does. Bye, Terry. All right, well, I think we are actually ready to close this out. So let's see, I'm going to do first in, last out, last in, first out. Let's say goodbye to our friends on Alpha Geek Radio. Goodbye, Alpha Geek Radio. I'm shutting her down. Goodbye. Say goodbye to Alpha Geek.
Goodbye, Alpha Geek Radio. Rock on.
Yeah. All right, Steve, you're free to release the server. So he has to actually launch a server to on his end, or actually connect us to the server. He has to take control of it, and then he has to release it. Steve does a lot of work in the background.
I was going to say, do people really understand what a well-oiled machine this is?
Well-oiled, yes. Let's just recall those words the next time I goof it up. Considering the fact that I almost exported the audio without the intro music.
Just like, la-di-da.
Steve, you might want to check the audio on this one after I put it up. And now it is time to say goodbye to the anybody listening via the app. Say goodbye to the audience, Gene.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, so NosillaCast goes to an IceCast server that Donald Burr runs, and that's how the live audience on the app gets it. And we have to use this really cruddy third-party or open source software that's called Butt. And Butt is what sends it to Alpha Geek Radio. Butt. Yeah, it's really nice. Butt. So yeah, we have a lot of balls in the air here. But I think we are going to cut off the video now. It is 5:57. It is time to say goodbye. Goodbye, Gene.
Goodbye. Well, goodbye, y'all.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did want to say Steve is more than just a pretty face.
Very.
Bye, everybody.